Hey guys, this is Cedric here, back in another video, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a working GUI. Like if you're trying to do a game and you want a stats menu to open, I'm going to show you guys two different ways to do that. So let's get right into the first one. So what you want to do is you want to go to Start GUI, click the plus, and add a screen GUI. You can rename it to whatever you want. You don't really have to name it at all, but I'm just going to call it stats. And then I'm going to add a frame. Then you want to resize it or whatever. I'm just going to go down to size. Just make it 500 by 800. Why not? You get this. Center it a bit. Good enough. And then you want to add, well, you can name it. You probably should. I'm going to name it stats. And then you can add a button and a local script. You don't have to name the local script because the name doesn't really make a difference. Well, in the sense we're doing right now, it doesn't make a difference. Maybe later on it might. So we're going to call this script stats script. Works enough. The button we're going to call stats button. Just because, or you can call it whatever you want. Doing stats button. In the stats script, the local script, you want to type local. If I could type stats equals script.parent.stats. Then you want to do the same for the button. Local stats button equals script. If I could type .parent.stats button. Then those are the variables. Let's get into the actual function. So script.parent.stats button. You can do mouse button 1 click, 1 down, mouse button 3, mouse button 2, which is right click, 3 is the clicking down the scroll wheel. You can do all kinds of stuff. But for simplicity, for this one, I'm going to show you guys how to use a button, like on your mouse, to activate the script, like to activate the button to open the frame, which has your stats and stuff on it. Then also, why not? I'll show you guys how to have leader stats show inside your your frames, because why not? So I'm going to do 1 down. It doesn't really make a difference. And then connect function. And then you want to do script.parent.stats button, no, stats.visible equals not script.parent.stats.visible. So what this will do is this basically checks if your frame is open, it will close it. If your frame is closed, it will open it. And this is something that is pretty useful. If you guys don't want that and you want an X button, you just basically, it's simpler than this. You just declare your values, your variables. Then you just go down here and then you type script.parent. Well, if I could type script.parent.stats button. Dot mouse button 1 down. Connect function. And then you just do script.parent.stats.visible equals true. And then you do the same thing if you when you're inside the actual thing, you have an X on the frame. You put another local script in there, then you do, or you could do it in here, I think. Yeah, I believe you could do it in here still. But you could just add an X button, call it X button or whatever, then you just do this, but instead of this, you change stats button to X button and then false for instead of true, so it hides the frame. So that's how you do that if you don't want an X button, but I'm just going to keep it this way. So what this will allow me to do, if I hide the frame, I'm not going to bother changing the button. I'm just going to move it down here in the middle of the screen. Why not? Click play to test it. You can press F5 too. Click the button. It opens the thing. The frame. Yeah. So that's basically how you do that. Let's get into the next portion of the video. Alright, so what we want to do for the key open is you want to add a frame like usual. Name it stats or whatever. Move it down here. Make it bigger, whatever. You add a label, text label, give it a title. You change all the properties of it. You can add buttons, scrolling frame if you want to add items into your inventories and stuff, which I'm not going to go into yet. But we're going to leave it at this because we're only trying to show, well, I'm only trying to show how to do all these different types of openings for your GUIs and stuff that you could do for your game. So what we want to do is add a script, local script in particular. You want to type in local frame object equals script.parent.stats, which is the frame. Local open equals false. Local user input service equals game gets service user input service. You want to go down. Well, you need that there. Well, I could just put it there. Oops. And then you add user input service dot input began. Well, if I could do this, input began, connect function, and you put these. Now we want to do the parameters. Input game process. What game process will do is it will basically just take, if you're typing in chat, all right, and you don't want the frame to open, it will open when you're typing, because when you're typing and you don't add this to your script, well, there's another part to it, if not game process then. But if you do that, that basically prevents you from having your opening GUIs while typing. So if you press, let's say stats menu is C, you press C while typing and it opens up. So that's the issue with not doing the game process, which I'm going to show that to you now because it would probably take a while to find. So if input.keycode equals exactly, it has to be that code dot, you could do whatever button you could do, probably, I think you could do, yeah, you could do tab, shift, left shift, right shift. I'm just going to do M because that's like universal. And then you can do if open, then open equals false. And then you just the whole little bit, just like basically just filler kind of script.parent.stats.visible equals true. Then there's else open, else open equals true. Script.parent.stats.visible equals false. So what this will do is it'll open the frame. I'm gonna have to hide it. Actually, I could just leave it open because it doesn't matter what it is, but you want it closed when you start your game. So if I press M now, I can open the menu, the stats menu. If I'm typing in chat and I press M, it doesn't open. But if I go back into the code, let's say I remove game process and the line right beneath it, and one of these end, and then I go back to play, then I press M while typing in chat. So I open up the chat and I press M, it toggles the GUI frame while I'm inside the chat. So that's why you want game process. That's what it prevents. So I'm going to add it back. And that's pretty much going to be it for this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.